Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a Toyota 4P, and this one's a little different. I rebuilt this one 10 years ago, and so not making fun of the customer, that's not what we're here for, but the engine oil had never been changed because this is the filter that I had put on it 10 years ago. It's a Donaldson filter, good stuff. So why did it come in? It took ether to get it started. It had a weak spark. It had a bunch of little things that added up to this just not being a good forklift anymore. And one of the things, we heard a rattle inside the motor, and there you go, timing gear. And then we've also got a little crack right here, and so it's just not any good anymore. So this is a plastic gear. Don't know why Toyota decided to do a plastic gear. It'd be good for sound reduction, but that's about it. It's just a bad choice of materials there, and you can't get a metal one. They just don't exist. So this is a Toyota 4P. They're kind of rare. You don't see them anymore, and so this is the late 70s, early 80s. This is the predecessor to the 4Y, and they still use the 4Y today. Great motor. But this is the one before, so they're kind of getting phased out. A little hard to get parts for. But we can get parts, so I'm not too worried about that. So we're going to get this one going. So what happened? They didn't change the engine oil, and we've got 90 PSI, 90, 120, and 90. It's supposed to be 150-ish, but we're not there, and it required ether to get started. So we're going to kind of dive into this, and we're going to see what happens to a motor when you don't change the oil. So we could be lucky on this one. I've got number 4 on TDC. Exhaust, got a lot of lash right there. That's too much. But the intake doesn't move at all. Number 2, the intake had a little bit of movement. So my guess is the head is wore out, and so then the valves got sucked up into the seats, and then it ran out of intake lash. So then the valves aren't closed all the way. Now, yeah, this is something you could check when you're inside the forklift, I get that. But also, we have to take the motor apart to do the camshaft anyways, because this is pressed onto it. So we have to drop the pan. Well, we have to pull the head off, pull the lifters out, and to do the camshaft anyway. So it's not like we're not doing things we don't need to do, but this is a good sign. We're gonna get the head pulled off pretty soon here, and we're gonna see how the cylinders look. But yeah, it's looking to me like valve lash is the issue, but we're gonna find out for sure in just a bit. Yeah, so we're gonna need to do some work to this one. It's already been bored 20 over. So we got our bore gauge set up. So remember, we're at the 2 right there, and we're just gonna slowly walk this up the bore. And so as we get higher, that number gets looser until we get to the top there, right there. So that's telling me that we're at the other 2. So that number's supposed to, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thousandths of cylinder wear. So we're gonna have to do another 20 over on this, or 10, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to find what exactly the parts we can get for this. But yeah, what a mess. We're gonna have to do the whole thing all over again. Got the cylinder head springs off, and here we go. Intake valve is real wobbly, really bad. Exhaust is not. And just from a quick look, we can see that the exhaust valve is sitting out quite a ways. It's fine, like meaning this way, it's out. but the intake is pretty much flush with the combustion bowl. And if we pull these valves out, we're gonna see we've got some good angle on the exhaust seat. We can see we've got 3 angles there, but then here we've got a really big surface area that valve is sitting on, and that is telling me that we for sure have a dusted motor. That's what caused this whole problem. We can see the the wear of the cylinder walls here, so we've got 6 to 7 thousandths of wear. If we look right there, we can kind of see our grooves of where those rings sat, and seeing the intake valve, because the intake valves wore out, but not the exhaust. So that tells me it got dusted. So we're gonna have to put new intake seats in this. The exhaust will just cut. We're gonna put new guides on the intake. The exhaust felt fine. We're gonna give this a good cleanup, and we're gonna have a good motor again. So 2 things: air filter, very important. This would have ran with a better air filter, would have lasted a lot longer. And 2, change your oil. Timing gear would have not broken like that if oil was changed. So there's 2 things going against it. And then also, it did overheat. It came with no antifreeze in the engine. So it's antifreeze, air filter, oil changes. Make sure that those get done, and your motor will be happy and go for a really long time. Hope this was a learning experience for you guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.